Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We had some fun on yesterday's show. We certainly did have some fun on yesterday's show because Juls, Frank and Shaka. Jan Fjordhoff, we asked him about speaking German to you at the Champions League final, Juls, and it was only in that moment he realised. It was only in that moment that he realised he'd done that. So, can you tell us your side of this tale, Juls?
Yeah. And I woke up this morning here in London with a message from producer Mike, one of the producers of our show, who obviously in the middle of the night for me, after the show for you, sent me the clip of Extra Time with Jan realizing after your question, Kay, that the penny dropped and that, actually thinking about it. Because first when you said like, the question didn't say it was at the Champions League final. So it was just, did you speak German to Jules? So it took him a bit of time. Jules? Yeah? When did I last see him? Yeah, at Wembley. Oh my God, yes, I did. Not once, but twice he spoke to me in German before the game when we bumped into each other. And then at halftime, he came down and was like, Schlotterbeck and obviously in German, which I don't speak. And I went along because he's my friend and I love him. So I was just nodding. And the more I was nodding back, the more he was talking in German, obviously thinking I was understanding. It was brilliant. And he sent me a message this morning saying, I'm so sorry. And I said, it's fine. It was so funny, man. And yeah, that's it. This is what we do on ESPN.
He's the first person in for a question tonight as well, because as soon as he saw me put out that you'd be on Extra Time, he got his question in, and he got his question in German once again, Jules. But this time I think he absolutely knows what he's doing.
And you know the worst thing, I mean, not the worst thing, but when he saw me the first time, I'm great, but what was great, the first time he saw me, before kickoff, his little studio was up there, and I was sat below. And he blew me kisses because he was so happy to see me. And I was like, oh, bless him. And then the whole German thing started, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on here?
So even better yesterday was the moment the penny dropped and he starts laughing and goes, I've just realised now that that's what I did. And the best bit is, Stevie at the time had to get his audio changed because he wasn't hearing anything. So Stevie saw mine and Ale's reaction and Jan's. We're laughing so hard. Stevie starts thinking, I better fake laugh because it sounds like this is funny. So Stevie was fake laughing alone. Anyway, we called him out on it, so don't worry. That gave us too many laughs. There was many subplots to that whole Jan speaking German to Jules. Next question. For all, how many goals will Mbappe score next season for Real Madrid? Let me start with you, Frank.
Ooh. Wow. What would be reasonable? Let's say.
Should we give it an draw over?
Overall, you know, all competition, 35? 35? That would be good.
35 in all competitions. All right, we're going all comps then. All right.
All comps? And there's more Champions League game. Yeah, 35. I'll go over then.
You go over 35?
I'll go over 35.
Jules?
Yeah, I go 40. I think it's going to be a goal fest at Real Madrid next season.
Oh, well, there we go. What is the transfer of the 21st century? Neymar to PSG for 222 million, Cristiano to Real Madrid for 94 million, or Kylian to Real Madrid?
Ooh.
Expensive free. Anyone?
Right now, I think it's Ronaldo. And while Neymar money was astronomical, I don't think it panned out and the way anybody thought it would. I mean, we don't know yet about Kylian. We expect a lot, 35 plus goals next season, but kind of given the body of work at Ronaldo, you have to say that stands head and shoulders above the others.
Yeah, guys, you agree, Joe? Frank,
I agree. I agree with Shaka. I think that was the best transfer ever in the 21st century because of the result. What he did to Real Madrid was exceptional, and we don't know what's going to happen with Mbappe. So yeah, so far, what Cristiano did for Manchester United and after coming to Real Madrid was tremendous. So yeah, best transfer ever.
You agree then, Jules?
Yeah, and obviously the appeal for Kylian will be the free transfer, because when do you ever get a player like him as a free agent? Let's remind everybody, it's not really a free transfer. Yeah, there's no transfer fee, but the signing on fee that Real Madrid are paying Kylian is more than the transfer fee they paid Manchester United for Cristiano at the time. And let's remind everyone as well, because I got a few messages on social media as well, that Kylian Mbappe will be the highest earner in Real Madrid history. Not just the wages itself, but more importantly, maybe in terms of image right, because as we know, Real Madrid used to do 50-50 with the players for image right. For Kylian, because it's Kylian, it's nowhere near 50-50. It's far more on the Mbappe side than the Real Madrid side. So for that reason, it's a very expensive transfer still, even for him as a free agent.
Okay.
Jules, sorry, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Do you know overall how much Kylian, with everything, he's going to earn next season? Salary plus sponsors and everything and rights?
Yeah, so it's 30 million euros gross, so 50 million euros net, just the wages, so no bonuses, nothing like that included. The image rights, I believe, is really high, between 70% for him or 80% for him, even depending on the sources. And then the signing on fee, we're talking 120 million euros. So spread over the 5 years of his contract, of course. So it's still not, it's not the money that obviously you earn at PSG, which was astronomical and the highest ever for a footballer. But it's still very, very big. The highest ever in Europe. It's still massive. It's still a massive contract for him, of course.
Are you thinking of coming out of retirement, Frank?
Excuse me?
He can't run, he said before. He can't run anymore.
You're coming out of retirement.
These 7v7s.
Oh my God! You know what? It's exceptional. I love that. I love that, and I think he deserves that. If somebody was ready to give it to him, he deserves that. So yeah, it's gonna be cool after his career. I'm not worried for him.
He'll be all right.
All right. For Jules, now that Mbappe is a Real Madrid player, and we also might sign Lenny Yoro, we'll have 5 French players. Can we welcome you as a proper Real Madrid fan now?
That's a great question. I was told today that I probably will travel to Madrid quite a lot for ESPN next season. So yeah, again, more seriously, I was a Real Madrid fan for carrying the dream already. The other day we tried to find with Ali and Dan a nickname for Kylian the magician, Kylian the man. We could not get it right probably, but we will think about it.
You mean Ali couldn't get it right? Don't be polite. Ali couldn't get it right.
Yeah, Ali could not get it right. Dan didn't understand it at all, which is even weirder. But anyway, the recruitment from Real Madrid, Kylian obviously, but even Tchouaméni, even 80 million for Tchouaméni, but still Tchouaméni is going to become a top player. Camavinga, 30 million euros. Ferland Mendy was a great deal as well. So if Euro arrives at 18 years old and he's one for the future, he's going to be an amazing centre back. They would have smashed a great transfer.
Okay, yeah, we had a bit of a giggle, didn't we, about
we
the
did.
magician?
We absolutely did. That will be remembered for a long time.
It will be remembered for a long time. Lots for you tonight, Jules. Jules, any truth that Lewandowski would consider a move to MLS and play at LA Galaxy because he wants to link up with Royce?
I'm not sure about the link up with Royce. Obviously, they are very good friends from the time in Dortmund. What we know for sure is that I think Barcelona will welcome Lewandowski to go because he's a massive contract at his age. And last season was not a bad season, but it was still not to the standard that we've been used to with Lewandowski. And I think he knows it himself. He knows that maybe right now at this level in Europe is maybe a little bit high for him. He will turn 36 next season, by the way. So maybe the move to MLS is right for him now, just to finish his career at a very good level. But a good level where he would perform well, better than what we saw this season at Barcelona. And if on top of it, Royce is there in LA with the Galaxy, I think he would probably be very much in favor of it. There's still a long way to go because he's under contract with Barcelona, but you could definitely see this one having more legs and maybe happening.
Shaka, how much more time should Newcastle give Eddie Howe?
I think Eddie Howe has got safely until, well, say safely, Christmas time at least. Listen, last season was disappointing, but I think injuries played a huge part in that. But given where they were when he took over, and then what happened in his first full season, I think he's allowed last season. So I like Eddie Howe, and I'm biased, I know, but I like Eddie Howe, and I think the club are going in the right direction. I don't think there's going to be any kind of knee-jerk reaction from the Newcastle ownership. Nothing they've done so far suggests that.
Okay. Frank, what kind of music did you listen to before a game?
Oh.
I never listen to music before a game. I was sleeping before a game, and I remember Regulit waking me up, say, Frank, we have a game now. You can get out of the massage table and be ready for the game. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the time. You know, the first guy who put some music in the dressing was Bernard Lama with the national team. I didn't like it. I found disturbing to have music before a game, you know, because I needed to concentrate. I didn't like it because it wasn't part of my generation. I understand now that they need it to relax maybe and to get into the game, but I didn't appreciate it and they didn't use it. I was resting, doing some yoga, some meditations, you know, before getting crazy on the field.
To Frank's point, and not to age Frank and myself any more than we already have, but this was before everybody had headphones, right. And this was the time of, remember them giant Walkman things? Yeah. That was as good as you get. So you literally need a whole other bag to carry. So inevitably it would be one person in charge of this boombox, and you could never get music for everybody. So it just kind of whatever kind of suited, and it's not the best we had. The only time we had music in the dressing room before was when I played at West Ham, and that was Razor Ruddock and Ian Wright. Elvis was our go-to music before games. It was so good. It was so good. I kid you. I've never listened to Elvis before or since, but it was so good. That was the only time. A big boombox of Elvis.
Last bit of Elvis.
It was so good.
Oh, I gotta love that. Thank you so much for sending in your questions, everybody. And make sure, remember, we are on at an earlier time tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
I'll try to remember.
Yes,
Kate.
please try to remember that, Shaka. No excuses. I've said it twice now.